Is Dirty December finally clean? Let's talk about it. So, this year's Dirty December was surprisingly quiet by historical standards. I have refrained from kind of outright partying in December. The only event I went to, which was a superb event, was the boxing event at Legon Sports Stadium. A really good event. Shout out to Legacy Rise Promotions for that. I'm a fight sports fan. And what I'm starting to realize is that the hyper energy around Ghana in December has kind of stabilized a little bit. It's not completely gone, don't get me wrong, and I think it may reignite as well, but it was a lot quieter this year in general. From what I could see, there was less traffic around town during the day. There just seems to be a lot less going on, and there's a couple of reasons for that. I think although we still have Afrofuture, formerly known as Afrochella, we've kind of lost a few main attractions, right? So Afro Nation stopped being a thing here. I think there was disputes over the land it was being done on and what have you, right? Typical Ghana wahala. That automatically reduced the amount of inflowing tourists. Another key component that I've seen in terms of the reduction is that Ghana flights are so expensive in December. I saw this year that a lot of people tended to come in kind of November in anticipation of staying for a while. But the flights in December are crazy. I mean, from the UK alone, if you don't book in good time, I mean, regardless of the time you book, you are kind of paying minimum of like, let's say, £1,500, $2,000 for your ticket. And then nightly rates at hotels, not even hotels, Airbnbs tend to be the main option here now that there's so many apartments available, will run you anywhere up to $150 a night. And that adds up. Let's say you come for a 10-day stay, or typically maybe 14 days, let's say 10-day for calculation purposes. 1,500 on your accommodation, and then a further 2,000 on your flight minimum, right? So it's already a $3,500 trip before you even spend a penny anywhere outside. So you could come for 2 weeks and be down 5k. That's why a lot of people come, enjoy, go back, replenish, because as enjoyable as Ghana is in December, it's hugely expensive. So I think that's another factor. Another factor that I came to understand through learning from a good friend of the channel and the business, Ivy Prosper, is there was some confusion around the visa on arrival process. So Ghana at different times have offered visa on arrival. I think they specifically offered a visa on arrival for the Diaspora Summit this year. And the issue is that despite the approval being achieved, the communication that went out, that should go out to all airports and airlines, because obviously they turn people away at the gate if you don't have your visa prior to boarding, went out way after, maybe 2 weeks after the decision had actually been made. So there was communication in some degree, informal communication, or maybe this kind of heard it on the grapevine communication that went out that visa on arrival had been approved. But the formal communication to airports and airlines hadn't been done. So what you had was people who had booked tickets, understanding there was visa on arrival, getting to the airport and being turned away. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh, because that's probably a really annoying experience, and apologies to anyone who had gone through that. But that kind of inefficiency, unfortunately, is quite common in Ghanaian process, depending on who's delivering the service or the work. And I imagine if you had that experience of being turned away at the gate, it probably put you off Ghana forever. And the other side of things is that Ghana's really, really, well, let me say Accra. Accra is really, really expensive. People come to Accra for the vibes. I've even seen local Ghanaians who want to go to a bar or a lounge or whatever, and they're saying, hold on a second, I'll see if I can insert a clip. My entrance fee is 200 cedis, and I have to buy a table for 4,000 cedis. For perspective, my entrance fee is what's 200 cedis these days? About £15. Yeah, I need to buy a table for £4,000. Sorry, 4,000 cedis. And 4,000 cedis these days is a lot of money. 4,000 cedis is £300, close to it. And people aren't really seeing the need for it. And I think some degree of December in Ghana, or Detty December fatigue, is occurring. A lot of people don't even like the term itself. I think it was originally attributed to a party that was organized. I think it was Detty Rave. And KOD, the head of the Diaspora Affairs Office, he was recently on BBC saying we don't like that term at all. Detty December. It's not nice. So I wouldn't, I don't like the phrase anyway. So all of these factors play a part in kind of how it seems to be a reduced attraction. I feel it will ramp up again. I think the recent tours of I Show Speed in different African countries, which is great for visibility. I think it's really fantastic. I'm glad he's gone to other ones as well, because I think there needs to be more visibility on other African nations, because each African nation has something unique to give. And sometimes I think that Ghana is not as ready as it should be to manage the influx of tourists, right? Historical sites haven't been maintained to a standard. All our castles and those kind of things haven't been maintained to a standard where, and they should be, because that would bring more flow of tourists, etc. But they haven't. The main ones, Cape Coast, that's that, and a few others. That's really it. But there's multiple more. I watched a video by Bright Simmons, Brilliant Mind, who was speaking about that after the year of return, or prior to the year of return, the investment should have gone into these historical sites. And even after the year of return, once you saw the amount of volume that was coming in terms of tourists, more investment should have happened into that. I think another thing that has unfortunately deterred a lot of foreigners is just their experience in trying to do business and invest. Kind of bad actors in the system, the system itself, the inefficiency, although it's improving, have put a lot of people off in kind of coming and investing, or they move on to other things. And that's why I think, that's why we built Kuro, to try and bring transparency, to make it more attractive as an investment location. I mean, it's not our role as a private organization to attract foreign direct investment, but it is my role as a Ghanaian to do well for the people in the system. So I just think this Detty December is getting a bit clean, and I like it actually, because it's more reflective of the reality of the city and the country, when there's kind of a balance in individuals, and when there's a balance in what December has to offer. When we skew heavily towards partying and drinking and what have you, it's not really fully reflective of what everyone does in the city. So I don't think it's it's fair. But you know, tourists are welcome. Um, you know, I think Ghana needs to be ready for the subsequent opportunity that the tourists bring, because evidently people love Ghana. I love Ghana, and when they come, it's like, you know, I've found something unique. I found something that feels like home. You know, I want to invest in it. That from that point on, that shouldn't be hard work. It should be easy work, and you shouldn't feel nervous about it. You should feel confident. You know, the kind of, this is Ghana and we do things differently here. It's fine, we do, but you don't want to do things so differently to the point where you miss out on so much opportunity. So that's what I would say. What do you think, guys? Have you seen December this year being a little bit quieter? Do you think it will ramp back up? I think it might ramp back up. I just hope and wish that, and I'll do the work that I need to do with Kuro to bring some transparency into the investment landscape. So I think that's ultimately going to help everyone, and help Ghana grow and be a leader, which I think we should be. All right. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. Until next time. Talk soon.